Okay, so my independent review of PriceGap.ai. I'm not an affiliate with PriceGap, so you're getting a very real review here, not one that is biased to say that this is the best thing since sliced bread. So if you are doing some proper research, you'll be interested in the 11 reasons why I believe this is a scam. That's 11 warning flags that I've come up with, and I'll work through those. Do keep in mind towards the end, because I give the real killer blows at the end as to why this is such a scam. But yeah, do watch through this video as I take you through those 11 points. Now, a bit of background first of all. Why am I reviewing PriceGap.ai? Well, I had a friend contact me on WhatsApp, a genuine known friend, and said, Paul, you need to look at this, this is fantastic. And as soon as I started looking at it, I thought, uh-oh, this looks like another scam. So I'll run through those details, but that's how I came across it. It's starting to gain some traction now, so more and more people will be getting suckered into this, but it is almost certainly a scam. So first question I asked, and he immediately put me on to his sponsor, who was very hesitant to give me his surname. This is the sponsor of the person who introduced me, and that instantly started warning cells. That's not one of the warning bells, that's not one of the 11 I'm going to list, but that is in its own right a red flag, in that if you start tracking, well, who told you, why did they tell you, and so on, and very soon you start to get a very murky picture. People don't know the answers to questions. So the first question I had, and this is the first red flag and should really get you wondering, they limit you to 2 trades per day. Now, this is all about arbitrage trading, or at least they say it is. Best arbitrage trading, crypto AI, trade management, algorithmic orders. And whenever there is, technically arbitrage trading is a real thing. If you've got a difference in price between 2 exchanges on a particular cryptocurrency, or it can be a sports arbitrage, or it can be all sorts of different arbitrage, where you've got a price mismatch. Essentially, there is an opportunity to buy one exchange, sell on another exchange, and you know, if you're buying cheaper on one exchange, selling more expensive on the other, or selling more expensive one and buying cheaper on the other, then you have an arbitrage opportunity. Now, the reality in arbitrage is that they are generally very thin, not much volume to be had, and so even though there might be an arbitrage, there's not a huge amount of money can be made in arbitrage, because there are plenty of people with programs, technology, who are all doing the same thing. So the markets are generally pretty efficient. There's very rarely much arbitrage opportunity, and even if there is, it's not large volume. So that's the first question. Why are there only 2 trades per day? And a trade should only come up when an arbitrage actually exists. And when you're talking about efficient markets with the prices going up and down all the time, every few seconds, then those arbitrages in real life, if they were arbitrage trades, would exist multiple times per day, not just twice per day. And so that was the big first red warning flag when I started talking to someone who was trying to promote this. So why are there only 2 trades per day? And he came up with the excuse, oh, well, we don't want to spam the exchanges. No, the exchanges are happy. The more trade volume they have, the better they are. So there was no proper explanation for that. So again, just stop and have a think. Why are there only 2 trades per day? It makes sense because they're wanting to make it on a daily return basis of 4 to 5%. That seems to be the typical sort of result, and the way that these are promoted, these scams these days, they're called HYIP scams. That takes me on to my second red warning flag, and that is they're offering effectively 4 to 5% per day. And why? 4 to 5% is an insane amount, but it puts it immediately in the territory of an HYIP. Now, what is an HYIP? So I'll take you through to this website here, Investopedia, one of the top finance sites in the world, number 12 in America for finance related websites. High yield investment program is HYIP, and this is a term that fraudsters and criminals have come up with to try and make their scams sound legitimate by calling it a high yield investment program rather than saying this is a scam. And a high yield investment program, basically anything that earns you more than 100% per year, is there to tempt you in to losing your money, to making that investment. Anything offering more than 100% per year, now 4 to 5% per day is massively more than 100% per year. anything more than doubling your money in a year as an investment opportunity in arbitrage or whatever they want to label it as, and especially when they add in artificial intelligence as a new buzzword, then it's going to be a scam. And so this is what's known as an HYIP, and all HYIPs are fraudulent Ponzi schemes and scams. And so this is a link to Investopedia, and I'll put that in the description below as well. So that's your second warning sign, is the 4 to 5% per day is what they're effectively offering with PriceGap, and again that puts it immediately in the crazy territory of an HYIP. Now on the bottom of the page at PriceGap.ai we have a link through to the founder and co-founder. If we link through to the founder, it takes us through to X, and it's someone here called Maureen Farron. And another indication here, anyone who's running a business but excessively promotes, let's call it faith prompting, faith posting, I would suggest be very cautious of, because that is unfortunately an area where scammers know that it's easy to get money. They will target faith groups. And we can see here that Maureen Farron, which by the way is going to be a fake name, but we'll go on to that a bit later, September 11th, I'm grateful to God Almighty for giving me and my team the strength and wisdom to create something as powerful as this. We've got something in here you don't want to miss out on. And so she's really putting that out. I say she, it's probably a male anyway on the fake profile, but using the God side of the story. They're particularly targeting countries like Africa as well by doing this, where there's a lot of people of faith. And so that's a really cheap way of luring people in who have faith, who have trust in people and God, and therefore they're an easy target. So be very cautious of anyone who uses God as part of their marketing. God doesn't need marketing, and businesses don't need God to do their marketing for them. So anytime someone is quoting God in terms of what they've got at their business and making money, be very, very cautious of. So that's my third warning. The fourth warning, if we go and look at whois.com and we look at PriceGap.ai, we see this was only registered just under a year ago, 31st of October 2022. So it's a very new domain name. That in itself, yes, a business has to start at some point and a business can be new. But that in itself is a warning flag when you're looking at something which is a business opportunity, a finance related opportunity. This domain name has been around for less than a year, and so therefore that in itself carries a huge risk, because it just doesn't have any long-term history to it. So it's just massive risk on that, and you don't want to get involved in something along those lines. Let's also look back at the founder, Maureen Farron. And we're going to do a Google search. So here's the Google search. We look for Maureen Farron in quotes, which means that has to be a full name, found on Google. Then we add in PriceGap, because that's her business. She's the founder of that. We've only got 4 results in the whole of Google, 4 results for Maureen Farron and PriceGap. And yet if Maureen Farron genuinely existed as a person, and the PriceGap has been going for a fair period of time now, you would expect more results than just 4 on Google. That again leads me to the conclusion that Maureen Farron is probably a fake name, and that is there to just be a distraction for people, because anyone who has that level of experience, that level of knowledge supposedly in trading the markets or technology, they would have more than 4 references on Google by all likelihood. So it's, it is possible there may be only 4 references to Maureen, but it's a big red warning flag that that's unlikely, and Maureen Farron is probably a totally fictitious made-up name. Now another thing that the upline support, when I was quizzing about them, they were quoting with Maureen Farron and PriceGap, was they said, well, PriceGap is an English company, it's registered at Companies House, and we can look this up. If you go to companieshouse.gov.uk, you can come through and you can search in Maureen Farron, and she has an appointment with just one company. It lists her date of birth as 1962, and it lists her address, or the correspondence address, in Hampshire. These registrations of company names and addresses Cost about £10. Absolutely worthless in terms of if you're trying to use that as proof that it's a legitimate company, that means nothing. And again, we've got a few things to look at here. First of all, we've got nationality of Swedish. The country of residence is the United Kingdom, and yet if we go back to X, we can see that they're based in California. So it's all very confusing there. There's a few confusing messages going about with Companies House. So are they Swedish? Maureen Farron is not a Swedish name, that's a very British name, but nationality is Swedish. Yet the country of residence is United Kingdom, and yet on Twitter or X they're listed as California. So it's just a confusing set of messages there. But also again, the thing to highlight on this one is that the appointment was made on the 31st of July 2023. I'm recording this currently the 13th of September 2023, so a very fresh appointment for this listing at Companies House. And again, when a company is listed at Companies House, a very young company, very recently listed, be very, very cautious. It is a big red warning flag of something very fresh. So there's sort of multiple sub-warning flags there within this price gap limited registration at Companies House, but the primary one is the simple fact that it is so fresh and there's no history, so you can't look at, if we go to price gap, if you look at the filing history, all you've got is the incorporation, 31st of July 2023, so there's nothing to back up, there's no data, accounts to look at or anything like that. So a big red warning flag. Even a legitimate company, you'd need to give it 12 months at least, so they've got a chance to file some accounts, and then you know you're not taking on that crazy, ridiculous risk. Now, another thing that the promoters of PriceGap talk about is the fact that PriceGap has a token listed on CoinMarketCap.com. Well, anyone can create a token, a cryptocurrency token, so that means absolutely nothing. And in common talk, when you're talking about a token that has absolutely no fundamental value and it's been made up purely to hide a scam or something like that, that's what's known as a coin. So excuse my language there, it's not something I like saying, but the actual PG token, let me just quickly go there. So we've got the PriceGap token on CoinMarketCap.com. It means absolutely nothing. In actual fact, what I would remind people here from caution is that PriceGap Markets is only tradable on PancakeSwap, and anyone can set up tokens to be traded on PancakeSwap. That's not a general legitimate exchange. Well, it's legitimate, but it's not. There's a lot of scams go on PancakeSwap. Normally with an actual genuine token, you would end up on multiple exchanges. Let me just give you one quick example. Let's say it's Gala, which is a games company. If we look at the exchanges there on here, we can see there's actually 15 pages of exchanges where you can trade the Gala tokens for ETH, Ethereum, USDT, BUSD, etc., etc. And so that's what a genuine currency, a token, would look like there. So the PGT token on CoinMarketCap.com looks like an SHIT coin. It's again high risk and gives the indication that it is a scam. Another indication that this is a scam is the incredibly weak white paper. So this is my 8th red flag warning sign for you. If we have a look at this white paper, you will see there are a few things in here which are just cringeworthy and also very much indicate a scam. There's absolutely very little substance here, and it starts, I mean, this is a joke, it's private and confidential, and yet it's on their website for anyone to download. So that doesn't make any sense there. Let's just get that out there for a start. And we've just got general generic wording here that goes on about arbitrage and how wonderful it is and artificial intelligence, but actually there's absolutely no substance, and a white paper would have a lot of substance with it typically. So this is just something that, you know, effectively a 12-year-old could probably write at school on a PowerPoint presentation. There's absolutely no substance whatsoever in this. But I'll just highlight a couple of things here. Page 10, challenges and risks. Because in real investment you usually get listed, you know, challenges, risks, and so they've done a similar thing here, but they've said no guarantees. There are no guarantees in any investment. Well, actually arbitrage trading should be guaranteed. That's the point of an arbitrage, is you're matching two different prices, a price differential between two different exchanges. So they should be guaranteed, but they're saying here no guarantees, trying to give it the feel of a genuine investment, where in genuine investments you do have to say, look, there's no guarantees, it's genuine investment, your money may go down as well as up. So that they've put that there. It's just a generic thing, means absolutely nothing in regards to actual price gap. Market risks, again, doesn't actually say anything there. And then the third one, which really is tongue-in-cheek, avoid scams. They tell you to avoid scams, and it's a scam itself. So it's this almost a gaslighting thing of saying, well, you know, you should avoid scams. We're not a scam because we're telling you to avoid scams, when in actual fact it's a scam anyway. Traders are advised to be vigilant and watch out for scams and Ponzi schemes. And hey presto, this is one right in front of them. So that's page 10. I think page 14 I thought I found quite amusing as well. Yeah, page 14, gaining traction year on year, little icon and a nonsensical graph. 100,000 watt, 75,000 watt, 25, you know, absolutely meaningless, forward looking. What's these numbers about? Absolutely pointless page, this one. So yeah, a bit of a joke when it comes to the white paper. So that is warning sign number 8. Warning sign number 9. Let's go back to the founders, Maureen Farron. Like I said, probably a fake name. I can't find any videos with Maureen Farron on saying I am Maureen Farron. Even then, that wouldn't prove that the person on the video is Maureen Farron. You get a completely mishmashed set of photos here. Yeah, what's that about? What's this about? Maureen Farron, born in 1962, so she'll be in her 60s. I don't know, would either these two ladies be in their 60s? And would this person, I just don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, those pictures. But I'm digressing there. What I'm pointing out here is that Maureen Farron's X profile, Twitter profile, says joined in April 2012. What I'm going to suggest here is that this is a bogus, a fake Twitter account, X account, that was created in April 2012, put on the shelf, and has been sold on the grey market and been bought by someone who's now pretended to be Maureen Farron, having found this, and they said, well, okay, let's go with the Maureen Farron name. There's 92 posts on here since April 2012. You'd expect several from between April 2012 and this year. However, if you scroll right down to the bottom of the posts, all 92 posts, we'll see the date of the first post. We're almost there. And these are all retweets, and we have Maureen Farron reposted July the 2nd, and there's lots of reposts, nothing genuine from the quote-unquote Maureen Farron, just lots of reposts. There is nothing back there beyond July. So everything, this scam indicates that they may have been working on it, going out to programmers and graphic designers to get the coding done, put together. But again, California, well, that doesn't match up that she's Swedish, living and residing in the UK. So yeah, this looks like a completely fake ex Twitter post and profile. It's not been verified either. So again, big red flags. If you're running a business, you'd verify your Twitter posts, your X posts, to make sure that they are genuine. So that's the 9th red flag. Now we get to the really big, juicy red flags. Firstly, there's absolutely no evidence of any trading. Some big red flag here. There's no evidence of actual arbitrage trading. People only have access to a back office where they say that they're getting their 2.5, 2.6% return on their arbitrage trade. And the whole point, and again, I challenged the person who was promoting this, I said, well, the beauty of blockchain is that every single trade is on the blockchain, and therefore every single trade can be verified. And yet, PriceGap do not verify any trades whatsoever. There's absolutely no evidence of any arbitrage trading going on. So fundamentally, what you've got is a back office in a classic Ponzi scheme in HYIP, where people are being given some of their money back. So let's say you invest $10,000 and you make 5% on your first date, and you're thinking it's fantastic. So of that $10,000, you get 5% back. but then they you get earn per invite, so they're wanting to recruit more and more people into the Ponzi scheme, and so that's how it funds itself. So at 5% per day, it's going to take you 20 days to get your initial funds back. I think this will be a very short-lived Ponzi scheme. Ponzi schemes typically paying up to 5% per day really don't last long, especially if they gain traction and people start withdrawing their funds. Then they will simply switch off the withdrawal of those funds, and that could be the end of it. And it can happen at any time, and that's the point with Ponzi schemes as well, is that you are more than likely to lose your money than you are make money. Some people will make money in a Ponzi scheme. That doesn't legitimize it. That doesn't mean it's legitimate purely because some people are making money. In all scams, someone's making money because that's the point of a scam in the first place, but they're not doing it legitimately, not doing it legally. So that 10th evidence red flag there's no evidence for any actual trades. That should be a massive red flag that would make you run a mile right from the start. Now we come to the final red flag, which I think is the biggest one as well, the 11th red flag. And by the way, after I've revealed this one, do check out my website, because you're probably thinking, okay, Paul, look, you've convinced me PriceGap is not legitimate. I'm going to lose my money if I go into PriceGap. Most likely outcome is I lose my money. So have you got something alternative? And now I always hesitate to do this because I then get blasted, people saying, oh, the only reason you've done this video is to promote your own businesses and so on. Well, I am a professional. I've been making a living from the internet professionally since 2001. So it makes sense that I would also want to share opportunities with you, to look at alternatives, something that is legitimate, and so you can do that at my website. So go and check out paulhardingham.com, and again, so it's nice and legitimate. It's my real name, it's my real website. It's been around for well over a decade now, that website, and that will help you find legitimate things that you can do to put your money to work for you. I've got some good affiliate opportunities, good investment opportunities, so really leveraging your money there. So do go and check those out, paulhardingham.com. But let's go on to the 11th and final red flag as to why you should not get involved with PriceGap. And that's the simple mathematics of it, or simple math, as I would say in America. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you had a genuine way to make money from arbitrage on the cryptocurrencies, and you had someone who'd written the code, the artificial intelligent code existed, that you could make 4 to 5% every day, first of all, why on earth would you share that with other people? Because you can make a fortune from that. So it doesn't make sense that PriceGap being publicly available, you know, if you had that code with very limited markets in genuine arbitrage setups where liquidity is going to be low, you'd want to keep that for yourself. You would not want to publicize that. So it doesn't make any logical sense whatsoever. The only logical sense to it is that it's a scam, and therefore they're trying to get money out of you into a Ponzi scheme, which can make them a lot more money than if it was genuinely trading arbitrage. Let me give you a quick figure. So we're on the compound, we're in the calculator site. We're looking at compound interest calculator. Let me just give you some real figures on this. So let's say you start with $5,000 and you get 5%, and you're earning that daily through arbitrage trading. Let's say you do that for 1 year. So have a little guess now before I actually hit the figure. How much do you think you would turn a £5,000 initial investment, not adding anything else onto that, just simply compounding that up at 5% daily in arbitrage? We hit the calculate button. You can see that would actually make you $329 million within 12 months. At just 5% daily. $329 million. That is more than enough for anybody not to make that public. Why on earth would you make that public? Making 5% per day in arbitrage trading, keep that quiet. It's only going to take you 12 months and you're a multi-millionaire and you're done for life. You might be saying, well, okay, well, yeah, but why not share that with other people? Well, if it was legitimate, 5% daily, if that was possible, let's give it 2 years. How much would you make with a $5,000 initial investment? Click on there, and now we start to see we've got numbers where I have to actually work out what they are. So that's billions, so that's $21 trillion. $21 trillion. That's more money, I believe, than the richest person on the planet, and yet you can do that apparently within 2 years with this amazing piece of software, PriceGap. Clearly ridiculous, clearly absolutely nonsensical, clearly a scam. I hope this has helped convince you that's the case. Do share this with other people who may be pitching you PriceGap. Let them see the light, as it were. Help preserve their money, help them not to lose it to scammers, and keep it in your own pocket. And again, little reminder, if you found this useful and interesting, and you're looking for something legitimate, do check out my website at paulhardingham.com. I wish you all the best, keep safe, keep your money in your pocket, and thanks for watching this video. If you'd like more videos as well, do subscribe to the channel. I'm all about helping you put your money to work and helping stop you lose it to scammers. So subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, pass any comments. I look forward to reading those and responding. Thanks for watching.